Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. I just got a message, just popped up and totally distracted me. Welcome to everyone in the human design community. Let me come and tag you all. Give me a minute. Oh, I just realized we have reached 500 members in the group. What a celebration. Love it. Welcome to everyone and everyone if you're new as well. Let me know if you're coming on live. Come and say hello. Oh my goodness, what? Tag everyone. Thank you. I can't see who's saying that, but thank you. I will be able to in a second. And just Tanya, thank you. Okay, so welcome. Let's get into what we're actually here to talk about today. I was planning on being in the office, didn't quite happen. So I'm at home instead. So today I want to talk about the trifecta of business success. I'm going to break down exactly why the world of marketing that we're in is actually doing us a disservice. And I say that with love because I'm in the world of marketing. Like, it's my whole background, my career, my corporate career, my training, everything is marketing. But I'm going to break that down for you. I'm going to tune you into what are the 3 things that are going to create consistency for you in your energy, in your business, in your success, all of the things. So as you're coming on, let me know you're here. Come and say hello. I'm a generator and I love the response. So the more that you ask me the questions, the more responses you'll get. So the more you will get from this experience as well. For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Shari. I'm a 5-2 sacral generator. I've been in business for almost 12 years. Oh my goodness. So I started the business when Archie was a baby and he's just turning 12. He was 4 months old when I started. So like a few months off. Hey, Tanya's a manifester. Amazing. Archie, my son, also a manifester. So I get it. Hi, Lucy. How are you? Lovely. Here for a few minutes and got to go. No worries. There'll be a replay. Yeah. So I've been in business for 12 years. In that time, the business landscape has changed astronomically. It has changed so much. It has, even in the last 2 years with things like COVID, with people working from home, with people going, actually, I'm just going to start a business, with the economy, with all of these different things, the world has changed. Business has changed in the last few years alone. And it has also changed even from like 6 months ago, 12 months ago. What was working doesn't work in the same way. So, just choking a little bit here. Hold on. I'm fully prepared with some water. Archie, love that name. Thank you. Well, let me start with a little story about manifestation. This is how a generator responds, and then I do have slides that will keep me on track. So, when I was younger, well, I still have endometriosis and polycystic ovaries. And so when I was younger, I was in hospital a lot from the age of 11. At the age of 15, I was told it would be really difficult to have babies. At the age of 18, they upgraded that to, you're not going to have babies. Even though at that point, I wasn't even diagnosed with endometriosis and polycystic ovaries or whatever. And so when I was 18, I was at university and I said, I'm going to have a baby boy called Archie, and I'm going to have a marketing company called Green Jelly. And coincidentally, both or not, because there's no coincidences, both of those things happened at the same time when I was 28. So when I was 18, that was my declaration to the universe. Moving forwards, I had loads of operations on the endometriosis, and every time they were like, it's getting worse, it's getting worse. And the last operation I had, the guy said to me, the surgeon said to me, you need to have a hysterectomy because this is getting worse every time. And I said, no, I'm having a baby. That was it. And so I love this story, well, obviously, because I got Archie. 2 months later, I found out I was pregnant. But what is really important within this is knowing in your body, like your conviction, your dedication, your knowing about what is going to happen and how that's going to happen. We don't need to worry about the how, but knowing that it's going to happen. So even when there's all of these people or all of these reasons or the evidence that you're not going to create what it is that you want to create, you have to tap back into your energy and be like, no, this is what is happening. Do you see? Like, it works with everything. So my little manifestation of my babe. Okay, so let's go back to the trifecta of business success. I want to share this with you because I think it's really important to understand not only the 3 things that are going to create success and consistency in your business, but also the way in which you use them. So I'm going to bring up the slides so that it will keep me on track. Lunchtime with Shari. Oh, thanks, Debbie. I love that. Lunchtime with Shari trying to figure out how to share a screen that she's done a million times before and still doesn't seem to remember how to do it. For those of you who are new to my world, you will get used to my quirks. Don't worry. Okay, so actual slides. Oh, hold on. No, not a slide. That's not what I wanted. 1 second. Here's the PDF. This will be worth it. Don't worry. Nobody panic. Honestly, I do know what I'm doing. And also, please have faith because I actually build funnels and ads and all sorts. And look, I clearly have got no idea what I'm doing with technology. So let that be hope for all of you. Okay. And of course, I'm only joking. I have got an idea about what I'm doing. Small one. Okay, so the trifecta of business success. Like I said to you, it's really important that we understand this. If you don't know me and you're new to my world, everything that I talk about is from through the lens of, from the perspective of, how do you create consistency in your business? Not these highly adrenalized push and hustle and burnout strategies or energetics or any of those things. From this place, you can absolutely quantum leap. But the goal, the aim, that the real desire in your business is not to quantum leap and then burn out, quantum leap and then be have overcapacity, or quantum leap and just be like, my nervous system can't deal with this. So the idea behind having this consistency in your business success is that you have got consistent momentum. You have got consistent growth in your impact and income. And sometimes that is going to look different because everything is about this, and I actually don't have this in the slides, but I'm kind of wishing I did now. So I'm going to say it now. One of the things that we get really drilled into us is like growth, 7 figures, 8 figures, I don't know, like all these different things that impose upon us what our version of success should be if we're a successful entrepreneur, or what it is that we are going to actually create if we're a successful entrepreneur. I will tell you that my business has gone through many different iterations in the time that I've been at, nearly 12 years. It's been through lots of different iterations. At some points, it's been really heavily focused on growth. At other points, it's been really heavily focused on transition. At other points in that journey, it's been really focused on maintenance because Archie and I have been traveling and world schooling and all of those things. At other times, it's actually been really heavily on investing out to create new things. So then there's no real true reflection of what is going on in a business other than your own idea about what success is and having that consistency and that momentum. Okay. So Tanya's the same. Yeah. Love it. So that's really important to say. What we're going to look at is how marketing is keeping you stuck, the 3 elements that will unlock your business success, and how to implement so you actually can see a difference in your business. It's not going to be one of those trainings. I'm not going to give you a massive sob story, right to riches story or anything like that for 20 minutes and then give you like some fluff. I'm actually going to give you content that you can implement in your business, that you can start to utilize, that you can start to use. And my invitation to you is to actually do it, is to actually look at how you can use this information, how you can move forward. I do have a really special next step at the end of this training, at the end of this masterclass. Obviously, no pressure, tap into alignment, but I'm going to share it with you because I think it's amazing. But you can still create a lot in this masterclass. Okay, so marketing. Let me tell you about marketing. My whole background is marketing degree, MBA, marketing in corporate land. The first iteration of my business was a marketing agency. So marketing is literally like my lifeblood, right? I love it. I love marketing. But what I see is that there is, from a place of good intention, it's not like a malicious thing, but what happens is that marketing itself is the creator of a lot of stuckness in what is happening for you. And one of the reasons why is because the role of marketing is to sell a point of view, is to sell, this is my way, this is how it works, this is what worked for me, this is why this worked. Think about, like, let's step away from whatever your business is. Let's think about the diet industry. There are so many different diets, methods. There are so many different protocols. There are so many different theories, and they are all backed by science. I will tell you, half of my degree is statistics, so you can make statistics say anything, basically. But, you know, it's all backed by science. It's all backed by theory. It's all backed by something. And it says, okay, I think that if you eat nothing but meat, you're going to see results. Or I think if you eat nothing but vegetables, you're going to see results. Or I think if you do intermittent fasting, you're going to see results. Or if you do the 5-2 diet, then you're going to see results. You know, whatever it is, everybody has their own point of view. Everybody has their own opinion, and it can be backed by proof. It can be backed by results. It can be backed by theory and science and all of the things. The reason why that works is because it works for those people. My point of view is my point of view because it works for me. My opinion is my opinion because it works for me. So what is happening is when you're investing in blueprints or in these strategies or frameworks or methods or whatever it is that you're investing in for your business growth, for your business to create this success, it has worked for that person. It doesn't mean it works for everybody else. But the role of marketing is to be like, obviously, look at me, look at me, look at me. This is what is going to work for you. So we can get really drawn into it. What can also happen is this pendulum effect. So, you know, I've been in the industry for a long time. I see this. When I started in the industry, it was like the wild west of internet marketing days. It wasn't quite the .com boom and all of that kind of stuff, but it was like the wild west. There was a lot of what I would term more as bro marketing. And I do it like this because, like, actually there's nothing wrong with bro marketing in lots of ways. They set a really good foundation. What I found was that there was this kind of lack of integrity and a real push into hustle, because it was the men who were saying, this is what works for me, so this is what's going to work for you, but it doesn't work the same for women. So we're really in this masculine place in the industry, this masculine place in marketing, and we really got caught up in it because, let's face it, the world that we're in, we're not in this place of actually, if you understand your body and you understand your cycles, then you become more sustainable and all of those things. We're in a masculine paradigm as it is. So it was real bro marketing. We all jump on board with it. And then we realize that it doesn't really work for women. It's causing burnout and confusion and frustration, all these different things. And so then we do full circle pendulum all the way over to the feminine. And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to tap into the feminine marketing and I'm going to work on my energy and who I be and masturbate with crystals all day and become a millionaire. But there is nothing in between and there is no flow in the middle. So this pendulum, and you might see this in yourself, you might see this in your business, and knowing like, okay, I'm all in the masculine, okay, now I'm all in the feminine. Actually, if it's not coming from an empowered place, or if it's not coming from this place of flow, I don't actually believe in balance, because even balance is like, it's an impossible task for women who are very cyclical. So we have to understand flow and we have to understand ourselves. Does this resonate with you? You see what happens? And ultimately in marketing, everyone is right, which makes it even harder to discern what is right for me, because everyone is right. Their point of view is right. Their framework is right. Their theory is right. It's right for the right person. Why they love TikTok over Instagram, that is right. It's not that anything is wrong. But what we've got to do is come back to a level of discernment. Is this resonating? Let me know, and please ask questions as I go, because that's what lights me up. So ultimately, marketing creates confusion, overwhelm, inconsistency, burnout, and lack. Because you don't know which is right for you. You're overwhelmed with all of these different marketing perspectives bombarding you all of the time. You are inconsistent not only in the implementation of what you like. Maybe you invest in a blueprint, you're inconsistent with understanding how to implement that, but it also creates inconsistency in your business. Ultimately, most of these things are going to create burnout because they're not working with your energy, and they're going to create lack because you're looking at, okay, this didn't work, what's next? And we're in this culture now of what's next, instead of really figuring out a long-term sustainable approach to not only investment and support and mentoring, but also in your business. Does this make sense? Come and let me know. I know that you're normally more chatty than this. I know there's some of you in here who are quite chatty as well. Just had a look. Okay, so let me start with, what is the answer? Oh, I missed out the little until bit, didn't I? Okay, so that's what it creates, until. The first thing we have to look at, by the way, I will tell you, everything that I do ends up in a triangle, everything. I'm very sequential. In my human design, I have a defined ajna and a lot of energy, a lot of channels that go there. So I'm very sequential. A lot of things end up in a triangle. Archie always says to me, I mean, he's nearly 12. He's like, all you do in your business is talk about triangles. Triangles. And I will say that a little bit like, you know, Maslow, hierarchy of needs. To begin with, I was like, oh my goodness, I can't put this in a triangle. Who am I? Like, Maslow nailed this niche. So to begin with, I was really resistant, but actually it's really powerful, because in the same way that the hierarchy of needs, by the way, that whole study about hierarchy of needs is fundamentally flawed. So don't pay too much attention to that. But the way that that whole framework works is perfect for this, because what we have to understand is that at the base of what is happening, that underpins what happens next and what happens next. The sequence underpins everything that comes in after it. So the way that you move through this is how you implement this. This is literally your 3-step process to implementation, as well as understanding the trifecta of business success in itself. Because if you are starting at the top, then you haven't got those pieces in underneath to create that stability, to create that foundation that is going to build the consistency and the success for you. Okay, so we're looking right at the bottom here. The first level of this is self-awareness. If you do not know yourself, how can you create a business that serves you? Is like the baseline of this. Even if we don't go into, obviously I'll talk about energetics and human design, all those things, but if you don't have that piece, if you fundamentally don't have self-awareness of how many hours do you want to work, what is your desire for your business, you get so swept up in what other people are saying, what other people are doing, what you think other people are doing, and what other people are saying. So you can get really caught up in this kind of tsunami effect of what is happening in it outside of you in the online space, through marketing, through mentors, through all of these different things, as opposed to really tapping into what your own self-awareness is for yourself, for your business. If you don't want to make a 7-figure business, you don't have to make a 7-figure business. If you want 10K a month and you just know and have that security and stability that that's coming in every month, create that. Don't go and hire don't go and buy the 7-figure blueprints. But if you don't have that level of awareness in the first place, then how can you move forward with any level of alignment and sustainability in your business? If you don't have that idea about how many hours a day and how many days a week and how many weeks of the month and blah, 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 all those different things, then you will never have that. You will never be able to create what you desire, and you will fundamentally always feel disappointed, overwhelmed. You're going to feel like you're working all of the time. Now, don't get me wrong. There are times in your business where there's more flow and there's more, moving outwards, but there are also going to be times when there's more coming in. So I'll give you an example of this. For me, I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with clients. I don't work on a Friday. This is unusual. It's only because Archie was in A&E that I've moved this to today. And I knew I could move it to today because Fridays are always fully clear. So I don't work on Fridays with client-facing delivery. I don't work, no, hold on, let me reframe that. I work the first 3 weeks of the month for client delivery. And if it's a 5-week month, I have 2 weeks that are potentially off, but actually that's where I do a lot of business development, or I go on holiday and take time off and do spa days and things like that. But I know that that's really important to me. I also know it's super important to have August off, and December and like winter is just like, that needs to be automated for me because I go into real hibernation in winter. But if you don't stop to do this, then you don't know. But beyond that, this self-awareness piece is actually where you're going to understand your energy, where you're going to understand yourself. Now, of course, I use human design. We're literally in the human design community. I use human design to understand this, because when you understand yourself and you understand how your energy is designed to work, even if we're not looking at business, what is going to happen is you have a level of discernment, you have a level of sustainability in your energy, you have a level of real understanding about where you're empowered and where you're aligned, which means that you can start to make decisions in your business in a different way. You can start to use your energy in your business in a different way. You can start to create this level of empowerment through everything that you do, which is going to, if we think about, the spectrum of expression is empowerment or disempowerment, ultimately. And if you're empowered, you're able to create more of your desires. If you're disempowered, you're contracting your auric field and you have less space to even receive or to magnetize your desires from. So when we're in that place of empowerment, we can create easier. We can bring into reality easier. So understanding that is really important. This is your energetic foundation for life, not only for your business, but for life. But obviously for your business too. So with this self-awareness, the best thing that you can do is to get your human design chart and to understand it, to understand, what does this really mean for me? For me, I'm a sacral generator. What does it mean to be a generator? What does it mean to have a sacral authority? What does it mean to have a 5-2 profile? What does it mean to have the centers that I have defined? How do I empower myself in that energy? And how do I recognize alignment? Here's the thing about alignment. Everybody is like selling this aligned business and all these things. Yeah, of course, understand your alignment and guide through alignment. However, we're not designed to be in alignment all of the time. We're not designed to be 100% in alignment, because actually where we get the most growth, where we build our resilience and create expansion, is in recognizing, okay, I'm out of alignment. Let me come back to alignment. How do I bring myself back? Okay. When you have this, you're going to instantly eradicate confusion, overwhelm, not knowing which way to turn, because you'll be tapped into the decision-making process inside of your energy and your body. That is the most aligned thing you can do. Okay. So once we have that energetic foundation, then we move into embodying. You notice how I haven't mentioned your business or your strategy or anything like that at all. You don't need to start with that. You need to understand these things. And I'm not saying that you hold off on doing the actions. You definitely don't, because actually a lot of the momentum in your business will bring you a greater sense of self-awareness. A lot of the momentum in your business will bring you a greater level of embodiment and understanding of what is happening. So the next part of this process is embodiment. It's about really understanding, not having the awareness and the understanding of this is my chart, but living in accordance to your chart, bringing it into your body, understanding your energy and how that works, understanding your feelings and your fears and your emotions and the sensations in your body. And let's be honest, the world didn't ever teach us this. The world didn't ever teach us to tap into our body. In fact, if you think about what the world taught us, it taught us to be a walking head that relies solely on logic and what is predictable, reliable, and evidenced. It taught us, if there is something going on in our body, whether we're sad or we're in pain, to take a pill, to numb it out. We were never encouraged to understand our emotions, to understand our, how our energy moves. We were never encouraged to, or supported to understand our intuition or the wisdom that our body holds. If you think about even, on for women, what happens in our body is we have our cycles. And even if you think about that, we're not even taught about the wisdom inside of what our cycles are. We're not taught that. What we're actually taught is that your period is an inconvenience. Try and be discreet about it. Take a pill, minimize the pain, minimize the mess it makes, all of those different things. Nobody ever taught us to embrace any of the things that are actually really magical. How do I learn to read my profile? I'm hoping to join your course at some point in the future. It's on my vision board, but I'm new to it all, so don't know where to start. I will say that there are lots of things in here that will support you, actually. If you start with your auric field, then that will be really helpful. In a minute, I'm going to share some other ways that you can do that as well. However, the types are in here. I'm pretty sure, have I done authorities? Maybe I've done authority, maybe not. Next week, I'm doing the centers, a masterclass on the centers. We're starting with the centers where you say yes when ready, it means no. So like really powerful ones, because thank you for the little segue. This leads really nicely into, because actually what is, and then eventually there will be profile trainings and all those different things. But actually it's about bringing it all together and understanding it for yourself, which is where the real magic. But in embodiment, when we look at what embodiment actually is going to bring to you, it's going to bring this capacity piece. So let me explain this for a moment. When you understand what your human design type is, so I'm a generator, for example. I know there's some MGs, manifestors in here. I'm a generator. So my auric field has a certain level of capacity. Everybody's auric field has a certain level of capacity. Your auric field encapsulates everything else that is in your human design. It's the most important thing to understand and to embody. When you are working with your aura, which means your strategy, slightly confusing when we're talking about business strategy and stuff as well, but your strategy will be to inform, to respond, to be recognized and invited, or to wait a lunar cycle. So whatever your strategy is, when you understand how to work with that, then your capacity to receive increases. If you imagine, like, look, we've got this water bottle. If you imagine that your aura is this water bottle and it's filled up with everything that you have already said yes to. If you've said yes to loads of things that you don't want to do, your capacity is going to contract, it shrinks. So it means that you have got less space to call in the things that you desire. So, when you're doing all the manifestation stuff, all the, the manifestation processes, and you're doing all the actions in your business, and you're like, but I'm doing all the things, why am I not getting the results? The biggest reason is your capacity. The biggest reason is because you're not working with your human design strategy in the first instance, which means you're reducing your capacity. And also what you're filling it with, if you're filling it with things that you're saying yes to that are really a no, which a lot of us do for lots of different reasons that we'll talk about next week. But if you're doing that, then what also happens is the universe is responding to what you're saying yes to. So you're saying yes to all of these things. The universe is like, she must really love these things. I'm going to give her some more of this. Do you see? The universe is not like, oh, but she's just journaled on her desires and this is what she really wants. The universe is like, she said yes a lot to this. That's the energy that you're emitting from your auric field because that's what you've said yes to. So when you can understand that piece, your capacity to receive what you desire changes. Your capacity to receive what you desire not only becomes more expansive so you can receive the things, but it also is going to become more magnetic to the things that you desire because you're saying yes to only to the things that you desire, only to the things that are aligned. Now, this is a journey in itself. I'm not saying that you all instantly go out and release everything that is, like you said yes to, that is no longer aligned. This in itself is a journey. It's not okay, we're going to do this super quick. But when we understand that and we can really tap into that, then we can start to understand our journey with expansion. So expansion, when we're creating expansion, and by the way, from a business perspective, this happens every time you launch. This happens every time you maybe tweak your message or go deeper into your message. This happens a lot through the mechanics that you're already using in business, but we don't know that that's going on an energetic level. I love launching because it's such a powerful tool for me to go through that expansion. Because what happens in expansion is that we start to create this new energetic way of being. You will like other people call it up level and those kind of things. I don't really like those words necessarily because it implies a hierarchy, and it's not even about hierarchy. Expansion is about how do I step into what it is that I'm creating now? How do I expand my capacity to receive that and to hold that and to maintain that? And so when we go through expansion, we're leaning into all the edges of our comfort zone. We're leaning into all of the edges of maybe where we have conditioning in our human design. We're leaning in a business perspective, how this shows up is we're leaning into the edges of the message or the transformation that we're sharing in that moment at that time. So for example, if you're sharing about confidence in whatever you're launching, maybe all of a sudden there are things that happen that give you like a shake in your confidence, that where you're normally unshakable, all of a sudden you've got this kind of doubt in your confidence. That's because you're being asked to really embody it and step into it on a deeper level. That's because you're being asked to do the work first. For me, integrity is everything. And so whenever I launch, I do the work first before I do it, because I know that this is going to happen. So expansion is part of your embodiment, because in order to navigate that expansion, you've got to be really connected with what is happening in my body. What are these emotions? What are these feelings? Am I empowered? Am I disempowered? Am I sabotaging? Am I in my sovereignty? Am I able to navigate these emotions, walk with the fear, and hold the duality of this situation no matter what? Because that is what we're being asked to do. In our journey of evolution, we're being asked to walk with duality. There is none of this, oh, we're just going to be aligned and float on rainbows all day and everything's going to be amazing. No, we're asked to walk with the duality. We're asked to walk with the whole spectrum, because there's not this hierarchy of emotions. You pick up one emotion, you pick up the whole spectrum. The more you can hold the whole spectrum of emotions, if you think about launching, what we want is acceptance and for people to say yes. But if we're unavailable for rejection, that spectrum just shrunk. So you're going to have less of the acceptance because you're unavailable for the rejection. We've got to be okay with holding the whole spectrum of emotions, the whole duality of everything. Otherwise, we're minimizing and we're kind of trying to control what we're opening up to receive instead of trusting the process. So when we get into embodiment, actually, this is where we activate our magnetism. Alignment, empowerment, of course, they create some level of magnetism, but the real magnetism, the real depth of this is in your embodiment. I cannot tell you how many people come into my inbox every single day and say, I don't know what it is about you, but I feel really drawn to you. I don't know what it is about you, but I feel really connected. I don't know what it is about you, but I feel like you're really authentic. Like all of these different things, because the embodiment is my dedication. Actually, in my vocation, my whole vocation is about embodiment through the lens of strategy in my human design. My life purpose in my conscious sun is all about embodiment and influence and, supporting people in that way. So it's all there. I just embodied it, literally just embodied it. And for me, still, I've been doing this a long time. I'm still going through that process and embodying it. And I'm still having moments in expansion where I'm like, this is a lot. But I'm really good now that I know my process and how to walk with fear and how to navigate my emotions. I'm not saying I get it 100% right 100% of the time, because this is evolution. But in order to create success in your business is going to require you to know who you are and to understand your energetic processes. It's not all about mindset. Like mindset is a part of it, but it's not all about mindset. Mindset isn't the bit that kind of steadies the ship when it's rocky waters. It's a piece of it, but it's a small piece of it, because mindset is not going to stop the feelings. Mindset is not going to stop what is going on in your body. Mindset is not going to allow you to process that energy or to navigate any trauma that gets unstuck in the process. We've got to really understand this embodiment piece. Like, I cannot be clear about this. This is where you regulate your nervous system so that you can hold what you receive. This is where you understand where the masculine and feminine work in your energy and how you can navigate that in an empowered way. Okay. Any questions about embodiment? Okay, so we finish at the top, not at the beginning, but it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't mean you don't move forward with your business. This is where you create your business strategy, because when you know who you are and how your energy is working, you know the strategy that is going to work for you. If you know that you are a person who prefers more time on your own, and that in your embodiment journey right now, that you are moving through a lot of deep energy that hasn't been looked at, or deep emotions that really need exploring, it is not the best time for you to be launching a massive group program, for example. Do you see? If you know that you are somebody who loves doing, like, so for me, I love doing these trainings. I love sharing a solution, hello 5 energy, and I love creating intimacy in this space, hello 2 energy. So, and also lots of different things in my chart. So I know that I can like show up and create a business around doing these trainings, doing these lives, and having that as a fundamental part of my business, and then opening up with intimacy by being fully authentic, by sharing, what has happened in my journey, by being here with you right now and answering your questions. That changes the business strategy. What works for me as a 5-2 with the design that I have is going to be very different to what works for Tanya, who's a manifester, for example. Okay. We have to understand that our human design is literally guiding us to what is the best business model, structure, launching, selling, marketing, like all of the things. It's guiding us to those things already. But if we're not using it, what we're doing is putting our power outside of us and going, okay, maybe this strategy, maybe this one, maybe this one. You're throwing spaghetti at the walls. And like I said, it's not because it's like everyone's doing it because of the marketing. Like, it's not your fault that marketing is going, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's very convincing, very shiny. I still get it. And I know my human design. I really have to tap into what is my sacral actually saying here. And sometimes I invest in things because my sacral says yes, and I have no idea why or what it's for until it becomes clear. So we have to understand our business strategy in the context of the alignment that you have individually through the lens of your human design. Now, in this group, there are trainings in the guides, particularly if you're new to the group, there are trainings in the guides about how you can use your human design in your business. There are trainings in I'm like this in the featured about, there's loads of different trainings there as well. Also, if you go to my website, actually, I'll put the link in the group, you can get your own human design guide based on your chart that will tell you how you can work with that in business. So let me put that there. Okay. So the reason why the business piece doesn't come until the end is because you have to figure out who you are, what you desire, how your energy works, and then the business strategy. Okay. So essentially what we have covered is the 3 things. These are consistent. They are always there. These 3 things are always essential in your business. If you look at anybody who is successful in business, they have self-awareness, they have embodied, and they know the strategy that is right for them. If you look at anybody in any walk of life, actually, these are the things that they have done, whether it's been a conscious journey or not. But you can bring this in with intentionality. Have a look at your human design chart. There's loads of resources in here. Book a reading with me. Get a book of me, which I can share information about. Do what you've got to do to figure out who am I and how do I operate. Look at your embodiment. Start tapping in with your body. Notice on a very base level, notice, am I aligned or am I out of alignment? And your alignment is determined by your human design strategy, by your type. And then look at, what am I doing in my business that is aligned for me? Even on a basic level, even if you don't know anything else about human design, you can have a look and go, okay, my alignment is satisfaction as a generator. Do I feel lit up and satisfied by this in my business, by this in my business, by this in my business? And if it's a no, then how can you release that? Do you need it? Is it essential? How can you tweak it, change it, replace it with something that is? Get really clear on this. Okay, so I'm going to share with you that the trifecta of business success is everything that I share. So it's the sovereign code, which is understanding your human design. Like, I've written a whole book on this. The sovereign code is understanding your human design, how it works for you. Human design alchemy is the literal embodiment. I mean, I created a whole system, including these gorgeous little essences that you literally ingest. Like, if we're talking about embodiment, let's literally put some stuff in our body. These are flower essences, like back remedies. So you literally ingest these And there's an energetic protocol and there's an embodiment practice that you do every single day to alchemize what no longer serves you and activate where you're magnetic. It's a personalized journey for you. And then the human design business is where you literally build your business based on your human design, how you build it based on being a generator or a projector or a manifester, how you then build in where your centers are defined, where they're undefined, your profile lines, all these different things have a role in your business and they give you very clear direction about how you use them. So what I've created for you is the Trifecta of Business Success Bundle. That's a real mouthful. I had no name for it, so I just thought, let's go with this. And it's a little bit like, for those of you who saw the Human Design certification launch, it's a little bit like that for yourself. Because I know a lot of you were saying to me, I really want to get the transformations that people who went through the certification are getting. And you can see some of them up in the featured as well. But I don't want to certify. I don't want to use this with my clients. Is there anything for this? And at the time there wasn't, but I just put all the things together. I'm like, oh, I can create this. So I created this bundle and it includes the Sovereign Code self-study, which is worth, currently it's being sold for $888. Human Design Alchemy, which is all the essences and the energetic protocols and all of those pieces. Whoops, smash it on the computer. And that's currently at 555. And the Human Design Business, which is literally building your business through all of the elements that you need, from marketing, well, your desires first, soulmate client marketing, your offer, selling, and then scaling beyond that. So even funnels and ads, how you build those. There's templates, there's resources, there's everything in there. The total, if you were to buy these individually, is $2,938. However, I'm doing the whole bundle for a limited time. I haven't quite tapped into how long it's going to be available for $1,500 or 5 payments of $300. It's not even got any additional pieces added onto it. All prices are exclusive of that. So in this bundle, you also get a load of bonuses, because I'm like, okay, how can I really tune you into what is true for you? So you get your book of me, which is the business edition. Now, the business edition of the book of me goes through, this is your human design. It gives you all the information about your human design, and then it tells you how to use it in your business. So you get an understanding about yourself and then how to use it in your business. And it's like 60 pages roughly of information about you. Personally, for you, it's not just a general book. I mean, you can also have my book as well, but it's not just a general book. It's your book that is specific to your human design. You also get the wealth activation so that you can start tapping into alignment in your feminine and masculine frequencies and create wealth right now. The embodied experience, which talks all about how you can use launching as part of your embodiment, or vice versa, how you can navigate launching with embodiment. And also aligned business immersion so that you can go through and start tapping into how you use this in your business immediately. If you pay in full, you also get an alchemy session with me as well. Rachel, all of these things are amazing. I love the alchemy, is amazing and super potent for embodiment. And the Sovereign Code has been a total game changer. Thank you, lovely. So all of these are available. You get everything, all of these things. So I guess it's like, hold on, let me do some quick maths. Nearly £5,000 worth of stuff, basically, of potent alchemy and magical experiences for 1,500 or 3 payments of 500. There's no fancy sales page. There's, but I can share the payment link. So if you want to get this, you can. But what I'll also do is add all of the individual sales pages on as well, so you can have a look at them individually. So if you want something more personalized, I have been really cool to this for a long time. I do not, oh my goodness, my hair is literally falling out. I do not do one-to-ones in general. And if I do, they're rare, and they are like, at one point I was like, I'm going to do 3 at the most. At the moment, I have no one-to-ones. It's not something that I generally offer, because for me, my business is built around time freedom. However, I've been really cool to this. So if you want to literally go through your embodied strategy, I have 2 spaces available. This includes one-to-one support. You get access to me on Telegram, like literally in your pocket. You also get all of the energetic pieces. I mean, you can have all the bundle, but you're going to work with me directly on personally, on what that means for you and how you implement it. You'll get all of the essences and all of the energetic protocols and all of those things. We're going to be working together over 9 months. It's literally like a rebirth. Now, normally, when I do work with one-to-one clients, the investment is between the 2,000 and 3,000 a month mark, which makes me think this is actually more than a 75% reduction. It might even be even more than a 75% reduction. But this is going to be only available for 2 people and only available for pay in full payments with a 75% reduction. For me, it doesn't feel right to do it with the payment plans just because I've reduced the investment so much. If this speaks to you, I do have more information. So drop me a message and I can send you what it looks like and what the investment is. And we can see if it's a good fit. But this is I can't even stress how rare this opportunity is, because like I said, I don't do a lot of one-to-one anyway. Definitely not over 9 months. I've never done 9 months one-to-one. And I've definitely never done it at this investment. Even if I used to do it 4 months, this investment level is lower than I used to do for 4 months. So if this speaks to you, if you've been waiting to work with me one-to-one, then this is your time. We will cover all things energetics, alchemy, and also business strategy so that you're super aligned with this. Okay. So do you have any questions? Do you have any questions about how this works for you, how you can implement this, what this means for you? Do you want to be redirected to any other resources? Do you have questions about the bundle, or do you have questions about the one-to-one? Like, ask me all the things. Or maybe there's no questions. Maybe I did such a great job at explaining it. That's what I always think. I'm always like, I've done a great job at explaining this. There's no questions. Okay, so let me know. Anyway, even if you're watching the replay, you can drop your questions. I will always come back. I'm like generator, queen of responses. So you can let me know your questions. If you have any questions about the bundle, if you have any questions about the one-to-one, DM me or drop them here. If you feel like these are aligned for you, then get them. Oh, what I will say about the bundle is that it is a personalized journey. So the human design business, you get access to. If you're a generator, you get the generator one. If you're a projector, you get the projector one. You don't need to know about everybody else's stuff. So when you sign up for the bundle, you will get an email that says, send me your human design chart, because I'll need that to create the book of me for you anyway. And also then I will manually enroll you in the human design business that is right for you. And the sovereign code self-study is also personalized based on whether you are, your human design type. So I'll manually enroll you in that too. Human design alchemy, you personalize that as you go through the journey, but it is still personalized. Super important to me that you're not just doing generic human design stuff, that you actually get what is right for you without loads of information about what is right for everyone else. You want loads of information about what is right for everyone else, then you come into the certification. Oh, I just remembered one of the things that I did not add on here, but I will, now I've remembered, is that if you get the bundle and then you decide to join the certification, you also get a 20% discount for the certification. Totally forgot to add that. But I'm going to. So if you have any questions about any of these things, then let me know. Otherwise, go enjoy your Friday. You're amazing. I love you. I'll see you soon.